Hello, my dear friends. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone who has joined across the world. I welcome you all to Swayam. It's all about giving time for our own selves, for spiritual enlightenment and spiritual transformation. Swayam is all about meditation and satsang every day. Swayam is a 33-day program where we travel together for spiritual transformation. And today is 8th day. So we have our master Shibu, who has joined from North Carolina to lead us the session. And I request Master Shibu to take us through meditation. And that today's program, this Swayam, is organized and supported by various organizations across the world, which are Indian Federation of Spiritual Scientists, Omega Pyramid, Joy, PSSM Ignite, Breath Universe, Beat, PIMA, and PMMA. So now let us go with the meditation. I request Master Shibu to take us through meditation.
Thank you so much, Balaji. Good morning, good evening, everybody. Balaji, can you hear me? Balaji, I'm audible. Okay, good. All right. So thank you so much, friends, for joining in. This is a big commitment, right? Joining in daily. And as Balaji mentioned, used a word called satsang, which means seekers of truth. We are all seekers of truth, joining and traveling in this beautiful journey. Friends, meditation is a science and an art. Art needs a lot of practice, consistent, sincere, and seriousness practice on a daily basis. So thank you so much on behalf of all the volunteers for joining in on time for this meditation. Let's get started. First of all, is there anybody who is new to meditation? You may just raise your hand or unmute. Otherwise, we'll skip the procedure and get started. So we can get started. I don't think there is anybody who is new to meditation, which is great. So we have all been meditating for a number of days. We know the procedure very well. The posture is Sthira Sukha Asana, comfortable and stable. And the meditation technique which we are using is Ana-Pana-Sati, which means breath mindfulness, being with our normal, natural breath. But everything starts with the comfortable and stable posture. So let's get into a very stable posture wherever you are sitting, whether it is the chair. And again, thank you for everybody who is on video. It's good to see the faces in the morning or evening, depending on where you are. Thank you, Vikalji. Thank you, Vikal. All right. So, you know the posture by now. Interlock your fingers like this and cross your feet or the legs based on if you're sitting on a chair or on the floor. And slowly, gently close your eyes. And as Vikal did, if you're wearing glasses, you may remove that because you wouldn't need it. Gently close your eyes. Allow the body to move. Now is the time to allow the body to move, to come to a proper rest, comfortable state. Absolutely no to-do list. Everything can wait. This is Swayam, my time, our time. With our eyes closed, we are gently starting our inward journey. Let's scan our body from head to toe. See if there is any tension anywhere in the body. Are you holding on? Anywhere, see if there is any tension. Forehead, face. Check the shoulders. Is it free? Relaxed? Stomach. Relax. Just let go. Now slowly bring your attention to your normal, natural breath. The body is parked, relaxed, and it is breathing. We are observing it. Since we are observers, we don't control the breath. Just allow the breath to be as it is. Our breath doesn't need any control. We don't have to remember to breathe. Breath is a happening. Just allow it to happen. And watch this grand happening. You may catch the breath at the tip of the nostrils or the tummy. When we say breath, what we are referring to is the body sensations caused by the breath. Just be with these sensations completely, totally. Remember, this is a satsang. We are all truth seekers. Let us be with the truth as it is happening now. If a thought comes, Gently allow it to pass by. Simply come back to the body sensations. Relax more and more. Let's allow our mind to completely dissolve the body sensations. Just surrender. Surrender. Surrendering to the divine, to the divinity in all of us. Let's allow our mind to dissolve more and more. Just surrender. Just be with the sensations caused by the breath. Body sensations. Let's allow the abundant, magical cosmic energy to flow through us. Just be a grand observer. Continue being with the body sensations, dear friends. Just be a witness to this cosmic dance. The more we surrender, the mental ideas are dissolving. This is the healing space. Just be a pure witness.
Na
Just continue being a pure witness. 10 more minutes. Let's express our gratitude to our own self, to all the gurus, to the entire universe. Gently be aware of the surroundings. Take your time. Slowly, when you are ready, gently unclasp your fingers and place them on your eyes for a few seconds, imbibing and absorbing all these miraculous energies and integrating them back into the system. When you're ready, gently open your eyes, the beautiful inner smile. Know that we'll take this love and joy. We carry this wherever we go. Thank you so much, dear friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivu, for the wonderful meditation. We all went into that deep trance. Thank you so much. Yes. And now I request Master Shivu to take us through the spiritual journey. Shivu, over to you.
Thank you, Balaji. And again, thank you, Jenny, for playing the beautiful music. And Balaji, hopefully in some time in future, we'll have a meditation with you playing the flute as well.
Yeah, sure. We'll do that.
Thank you, thank you. And friends, a small apology of James Parker, who was supposed to be here, couldn't come in due to some personal emergency. My apologies for that. We just came to know right before the session. He was totally planning to be here, was excited to be here, but something just happened and he couldn't be here. So Balaji, if it's okay, shall I share my meditation experience?
Yes, please. We are waiting to hear your experience, please.
Thank you. All right, friends. So where do I start? So I primarily consider myself an experimenter and a seeker. So the meditation journey itself started in 2008. And to me, is Sunil here? No, he's not here, right? Yeah, so I was introduced to meditation by Sunil. So he started practicing this meditation and he was like, I started observing some changes. He's always talking about meditation and being this curious guy. I'm like, what's going on? I don't want to believe this, but I want to try it out, right? Because I'm seeing some changes. He's always talking about it. He always used to eat chicken and meat and all that. He doesn't eat that anymore. So I'm like, I started becoming curious. Need to know what's going on. So as I start, I want to express my gratitude to Sunil, through whom I learned meditation in this lifetime, and also to Sampath, from whom Sunil learned, and to Patriji, from whom Sampath learned. So all these guys. So as I said, the why part of it was very, very important for me. So which is why, out of curiosity, I tried meditation. So Sunil took me to Pyramid Valley. I think this was in 2008, where I was like, he told me about the pyramid, meditation inside a pyramid. So thankfully, I persisted and continued the experimentation of meditation. And the interesting thing which I noticed was I didn't know anything about meditation at that point in time. I didn't know the benefits, and I didn't have, except Sunil, none of my friends were meditating at that point in time. So I didn't know anything about the spiritual science or the cosmic energy or anything which happens during meditation, all that. And I started observing that out of nowhere, these books starts showing up. Somebody would recommend a book. I started reading all these books the white book, I think 2008, 2009, 2010 period. Can't remember when, but this white book, the a lot of books. I can't think the Bringers of the Dawn. I was trying to remember the books which I was reading at that point in time. A lot of books started showing up, and I was reading, and again I started. Something in me was asking me to continue this journey, and even at that point in time, if somebody would tell me that you have to stop eating meat, a lot of people were telling me you have to stop eating meat, and I would argue with them. Why would I do that? To me, it is about choice. I like the taste of it. This is what I like, and I want to do it. And I would argue. I would talk all about choice. This is about choice. This is what that was my understanding at that point in time. And something in me changed. It took some time, but in a year or two, I remember that I did not have any interest in meat anymore, the non-vegetarian food or the meat or anything, so that for that matter, stopped interesting me for no reason. And I had to force myself. At that point in time, again, my mind was still telling you are again limiting your choices. And I had to almost force myself to eat it. And I realized that I'm not liking it anymore. So then, this is the only reason why I'm mentioning this is because this is the first time I understood this concept of patterns, which we talk about. The patterns or the acquired taste and all that, right? It wasn't me. It wasn't something which was me. I started seeing that this is a pattern, this is something which I acquired. And once that is there, it is a totally different thing, right? I mean, it's the for me, that whole becoming a vegetarian journey, which happened like 13 years or so ago, taught me a lot. For the first time, I understood what taste is, what the acquired taste and patterns, and for that, I'm eternally grateful for that experience. And I'm also very compassionate. I don't talk about this at all. I don't ask people to become vegetarian or anything because I have gone through this journey. And I know the past self used to be in debates and arguments and stuff like that, right? As to why we should be a non-vegetarian. So it is a part and parcel. And I understand that once we become aware, once we become sensitive, and that happens when we come into meditation, there's nothing else which we need to do. All we need to do is come into meditation. And what happens when we come into meditation is we are more and more aware. The sensitivity increases. Awareness is all about sensitivity that increases. And then once we are sensitive, then we start realizing who we are. We start understanding our taste. We start understanding more about ourselves. It's a fascinating journey, fascinating journey. And for me, this curiosity and experimentation continued, right? So once I've tasted meditation, I came into meditation through Ana-Pana-Sati. But now I'm like, the more I was reading, I was like, I should go and try out everything. Then I just went through these various schools of thoughts or various schools of meditation. There was Brahma Kumaris back in 2012, 2013 time for I'll just go on the silence retreats. Brahma Kumaris was the first, and then I went to Osho School of Thought, the dynamic meditations and all that. It was just after that, what did I do? Yeah, I did Sadhguru. For a few years, I did Isha, Sadhguru, Shambhavi, and all that. So it is something in me was just again telling this seeking, this continuous seeking mode. And I remember that phase was all about, I was only concerned about my own self-enlightenment, self-realization, enlightenment. That was the word from the books and from everywhere. I was like, that's all what mattered to me at that point. And I was continuously that. There was to the point where it has started becoming more like a routine thing, right? I get up, this is the first thing I do, whatever that practice is at that point in time. Yeah, so thankfully, around that changed, that phase of it changed. After COVID came, a group of friends again, I think Sampath is on the call. Sampath and a group of friends came and we started doing more and more different things. And that phase changed. And Sampath is the one who actually introduced me to the service and coming in front of the camera, speaking, talking, spreading meditation. So thankfully, that phase of me, which was just, just self-realization, just my own thing, that phase got over around that time. So now I find a lot of joy in service, while serving, while helping people, bringing people into meditation. Actually, one more thing which I want to mention, which a lot of people might be able to relate, is that the more and more I went into more and more I started going deeper, I started realizing some of the inner things which is always there in all of us, right? We keep talking about the shadow self, things which are there in us, but the light usually doesn't get there, but it is always there. I started seeing one interesting thing which I started noticing was, if my friends would say that I'm a guy who always smiles, he's always nice, he's a nice guy, Shibu is a nice guy. He's always smiling, he's always nice to be around, he's friends with everybody, he's a nice guy, that kind of thing. And that has been going around, I mean, it's been like that forever. One thing, the more and more went deeper and deeper, one thing which I really saw was that there is some sort of at the depth of it, there is some sort of a fakeness there as well. Because there is something in me which wants to be nice. There is a difference between that, right? Being nice and being gentle and having an inner smile is a little different from wanting to be nice. Wanting to be nice. Putting it in a way, it is actually putting up that face, putting up a facade. And that realization, just like becoming a vegetarian, where I opened a new dimension for me, where I saw the pattern. This was also opening up a new layer for me, where I started seeing, okay, not everything is what it seems, right? So I should not believe what I'm hearing from others, should just go deeper and deeper and deeper. So this nicety phase of it, right? That is the phase where I actually went, I was not trusting anything. At that point in time, I was like, I should really observe myself. And one thing which really helped, and lot of us might be able to connect to that, is the nature. And that's something which is a big part of me. Being in the nature, being with the trees. That's something which is a beautiful thing. What happens is, I started observing whenever we are with people, right? At least in my case, whenever anybody is there, they're always putting on a role. You can observe this. If you're in front of your wife, in front of your friends, most of the time, in a subtle way, we put on a role of a husband, we put on a role of a friend. And with different friends, you'll see that the role changes. The type of role, the type of facade you put changes, but you're always invariably playing a role, always playing a role. And that is when I realized that, and that is not happening to me when I'm with the nature, when I'm with the trees, when I'm with the nature by myself with no phone, nothing, when I'm just with the nature. I started observing that nature is actually like a mirror, a true mirror, which shows you who you are without any filters. Because nature is all about unconditional love. It's about giving and receiving, unfiltered, pure, unfiltered. The more and more, it opened up a lot of things for me. I'm eternally thankful to that nature aspect of me and going to the nature. And this stage is one important thing which I want to mention. How are we doing on time? I think we are okay. One important thing is the vulnerability part of it, right? This taught me one important thing. It allowed me the courage to be vulnerable, because many times most of us consider vulnerability as a weakness, but it is not. It's definitely not a weakness. It is, before we start creating something, before something new happens, there is always vulnerability. Most of us might be speaking, most of us might be on the stage speaking now, But imagine the very first time you did that, the very, very first time. There would have been 100, 1,000 different voices coming in the head, telling us not to do that. Yeah, what if you make a total ass of yourself, total fool of yourself? Don't do that, right? There will be 100 different reasons not to do something new. And this is where the conviction, the knowingness comes in. And this is where the vulnerability, the power of being vulnerable comes in. And if you still do it, the moment you do it, all these fears, everything else disappear. I've observed it. The moment we step in, everything disappears. But to step in, just like the escape velocity, right? There is that escape velocity. There will be 100 different reasons not to do something. But the moment we do it, it's beautiful. It was always right. Nothing would matter anymore. The 100 different logical reasons coming from everybody would just stop existing there. Just flies off. So friends, one thing which I would say is adopt vulnerability. Be ready to be vulnerable, because that is the growth. Irrespective of what others say, irrespective of 100 different logical reasons, just go with the knowingness in you. Because the higher self, the universe, has a grander plan, way, way higher than whatever we could have thought from our mind. So a lot of things happened in my, I wouldn't bore you guys with the details, but a lot of things would happen in my life where, moving from New Jersey to North Carolina was not at all a logical decision. There was really no reason for me to move from New Jersey to North Carolina. But there was a deep knowing that the life in New Jersey has ended. I have to now move to North Carolina. It's a knowing. It was just a knowingness. Thankfully, went with the flow. And so a lot of things changed. A lot of things from the past changed. The past friendship. A lot of friends, the past friends, at that point in time, I was thinking, what am I doing? All of our jobs are there. All our friends are there. Our entire life was built there. I'm just moving here. It's the right thing. But then there is that knowingness that this is what we should do. This. And then thankfully we went with that. And now we have a new set of friends, new possibilities. A lot of new things happened after coming here, including this Joyce. Joyce is a non-profit organization which we co-created last year. And again, all of this happened after coming here. So it is just, what I'm saying is there is a lot of possibilities, right? We just need to be open to the possibilities. And talking about Joyce, I just talked about Joyce. I just want to mention about the word Joyce, not the organization. Not the organization Joyce, but the word Joyce. Few years ago, this word started coming to me, this Joyce. I'm like, what? Joyce started coming to me. And it actually is a combination of two different words, joy and choice. That's what Joyce is, joy and choice. Let me allow to explain that, right? First of all, it took me a long time to understand that we have a choice at any given point in time. I did not know this. I did not realize, and I didn't know that we really have a choice at any given point in time. It took me a while to understand that we have a choice. And out of the choices, there is a choice which always brings us to joy, which gives us happiness, which makes us joyful, irrespective of whether that choice at that point in time seems ridiculous from a logical standpoint. Even if it does, there will be like 100 different guys coming and telling you that this is mad, this is crazy. But there is something in us. You observe your body, you observe yourself, you will see that you're not getting the fear. There's something in it's beautiful. The moment you start walking, there will be uncertain. That is why I use the word, that is why I said vulnerability as well. In the path of joy, when we choose to be joyful, in that path, vulnerability would be there, right? Because you'll be doing newer things. You'll be doing things which you have never done. But you'll also have the courage to walk that path. And it doesn't look like it wouldn't seem like it's courage or anything at that point in time. You'd feel it as the most natural thing to do. It is like there's nothing else to do. That's it. There's no other choice, nothing else. It is the most most natural, most right thing to do, and joyful path. And that is why this came together as a combination of joy and choice. So remember, friends, at any time, this is something which will always be there for us. Out of the many choices, there would be a few which will make us very, very joyful, irrespective of how logical, illogical it is. How many times others tell you, how many times our own mind tells us, walk that path, see what happens. Just give it a time. Just do that. Right? So, how are we doing on time, Balaji? How are we doing on time? I think I spoke more than, was it 10, 15 minutes?
No, we are on time.
Okay.
You can queue for 5 more minutes if you need.
No, it's okay. I think pretty much covered most of the things which I wanted to cover. Sam is here. Hey, Sampath. Hey, Nikhil.
Hey, dude. So I have a question for you
Yeah.
on joy. Just for the sake of participants, what is the difference that you want to explain to people uh, between joy and happiness? What is joy? How is it different from happiness? Is one thing. The second question will be, how is joy related to the present moment? I think this is a kind of the power of now kind of session. You're touching upon beautiful points. So I want you to cover that syllabus, which we usually do if we go in a systematic manner. This time in Swayam, we are following the flow. So as part of the flow, the topic has come today. So I request you to explain joy versus happiness and joy and now.
Somebody have answered everything. You said now, joy, flow. That's all the same. That's all beautiful things which is happening.
I know, but please explain the difference.
Yeah. So when we are in the present moment, right? That is when we are in the present moment, when we are with our, when we are completely with our present moment. Most of the time, what happens is that you're usually not in the present moment. Even when, right now, as I am speaking, just observe. Just observe. Are you fully here? Are you fully with me? Or is there anything else is also going on at this point in time? Something in us. Is our mind, are we in a certain state where we are going back into the past, or oh, here is my to-do list, I have to go and do that, I have to do this, I have to do that. Are we in this fluctuating point between the past and the future? Are we are you really here with me and Sampath at this point? Are we really here? So I wasn't like that at all, because always at any given point, even when something was happening, I would see that I'm always in thoughts. I'm going into this, I'm going into choices. Oh, this here, what if I have done this? Totally unrelated things, hypothetical scenarios I would just go into, which is nothing related to what is unfolding right in front of me at this point in time. I would just get stuck in this versus this. And I realized that, it's a perpetual thing. When we come back to the now, when we come back to the present moment, and we are totally present here, there is something beautiful which happens there. There is nothing external which you need at this moment, at this point. When you are totally here, joy is not something which you seek from outside. Joy is not something you need. You don't need like 5 different external things. You don't need objects to make you joyful. You are that. You are naturally that. When you are fully in this present moment, in this state, when you are fully aligned with the truth. He used the word, Sampati also used the word flow. Naturally, he said, naturally came with the flow. When we are in that state, when we are in the present moment, and we are flowing with the present moment, which makes it a flow, there is nothing external which you need to make you joyful. And that is exactly, in a way, is the difference between the happiness and the joy, which is momentary, right? But joy is who you are. That's intrinsic to you. There is nothing which you need to seek. All we need to be, all we need to do, if there is something to be done, is to remove the mist or remove the layers. And then all what is left would be joy. Just be with, and I experience this in the nature or anywhere where you are truly allowing yourself to remove all the filters and remove everything else and be with who you are. Initially, I thought the nature was making me joyful. I thought it wasn't. It wasn't the nature. It wasn't the nature. That is why I use the word mirror, because it's who you are. Joy is who you are. You don't need anything. You don't need anything to be joyful. And from that state of joy, everything, whatever you do is joyful. Everything, anything which is joyful. So there is nothing external. You don't have to go to, let's say, a place for you to be joyful. You are that. You are that joy. Sorry, long one, Sampath, but I hope.
No, not at all. We needed this explanations. And I just wanted to add that unless you switch from the mind state, which is past and future, which will happen only when you get into now. Past and future always keeps you in the horizontal dimension, back and forth.
Absolutely.
And you go vertically down, deep into yourself. Self starts with peace, which the next step of peace is joy that emerges out of nothingness. You don't have to do anything. And like happiness has an opposite, joy does not have an opposite. Happiness has sadness, like something which can give you happiness, the same thing, if it is not there, it will give you sorrow or sadness. It will make you sad. But joy does not have an opposite. That's your natural state. And unless you become peaceful and experience the joy, you would never understand what is love.
Absolutely. Beautifully put, Sampath. Beautifully put.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Shibu. Over to you, Balaji.
Yeah, and again, we'll bring back James at another time. Just right before the session, he had something, and then he couldn't come. Our apologies on behalf of Joyce to everybody. So we'll have James at another point.
Hi, Shibu. I have one question.
Hey, Balaji.
Like you said,
hand was also on. Sorry, Balaji.
Yeah. You said everyone will be having 100 number of thoughts running, which forces us not to do. And we have to hear one voice, which gives us some motivation or inspiration to stick with the path. And I would like to know what is the motivation and the inspiration you received, the only one thing for sticking on to the path of spirituality and to grow up to this level as a master.
First of all, Balaji, I don't consider myself a master. I consider myself a seeker, because that seeking, to me, it started with a curiosity, and I'm still curious. But I'm learning more and more. It is not started with the different techniques. It was in the level of techniques, books, etc., etc., etc. Now, I am seeking to know more about myself, the layers within the self, right? It's a fascinating thing, and I've seen that. I've only scratched the surface of it. To know more and more and more about myself, and that is the curiosity. That is the path. There has always been the thing that being curious. I mean, being the curious is a very, very important thing, because everything else comes with that, right? So to me, even when I'm going to a place, let's say we're going to Kashi or Kumbh or anywhere, right? It is not about going to that place which motivates me. It's about putting the body somewhere in a different places and seeing how it responds, how you respond, what is changing in you, what is surfacing in you, right? And you're getting to know more and more dimensions, more and more about yourself, like I was explaining in the journey. So that facade which I put in, that facade, I did not know. I really thought I was a nice guy. That nicety, right? I didn't actually realize it. So this curiosity is all about understanding and realizing more and more and more about self, swayam, self. And the more I see it, I feel that it's about remembrance. It's about, it's not about becoming or trying to be something. It's not about trying to do something. It's not about that. It's about just being there. There is not a lot of work to be done. It's not a working. You just keep going with the flow, as Sampath mentioned, the flow, flow, flow. Keep enjoying the moments, keep going with the flow. And inspiration is not a word which I would use, because inspirations will only take you so far, right? You might be inspired, you can just read a quote. It might inspire you for one day, maybe inspire you for half a day. But that's not going to take you far. That has to come, that urge, that sincerity, the seriousness has to come from within. And that is the soul thing, right? The soul. And it'll come. But yeah, it's a journey, and we're all doing the right thing, right? As we started, Balaji, you mentioned the word satsang. We're all seekers of truth. We had 15 other choices. We could have been somewhere else. But all of us, there is something in us which told us that in spite of all those choices, this is the one I hate to be here. I choose to be here. There's something which made us choose this. And that means that we are all curious, right? We want to know more and more. We want to enjoy this journey of meditation. So meditation is
Right.
not a 30-minute thing or a 40-minute thing which we do, right? It's not a doing thing, it's a being, it's a self-discovery. That discovery process, the discovering more and more, what else is what keeps me going. Everything else is incidental, is all I would say. Just knowing more and more and more about myself.
Yes. Well said, Shibu. The word curious, that was the key ingredient for everything to absorb in front of you. To be aware of everything that is in front of you. Well said. Thank you, Shibu. And now our friend Nikhil is there. Let us speak to him.
Thank you, Balaji.
Hey, Nikhil.
Hi, Shivu. Nice
Hey.
to hear your experiences. When you were quoting your experience, you said that during the transformation stage, you were not sure about whether it is really your nice or you're faking it, right?
Yeah.
So, whether you didn't get the same question when you are into spiritual path, whether you are doing it for yourself or doing it for, you're feeling that it is okay, it is very good, or you really need it. So people normally do it for others, or an instant relief will be there when you are coming into spiritual path. So how did you differentiate that, and how did you know that it is, yes, this is the real path I wanted to? So I just wanted a little clarity about that, because so
Well,
many of,
spirit,
when they're coming into spiritual journey, they get confused. They get some instant relief, they come and do the journey of spirituality or meditation, and after some time they again go back to their normal lifestyle. So how did you manage to stay here, and you felt that it is required for you? So what is that?
yeah, yeah. First of all, Nikhil, thank you for being on video. So it was that getting that feedback is always helpful, right? The more and more you speak, if you have people on video and you can see the face, it's always helpful. So thank you for that. And in terms of your question, two parts to this, right? First of all, that the fakeness and my spiritual journey, why I continued, probably two different things. As I was answering to Balaji's question, right? For me, I continued this journey more and more because I was just curious. I just wanted to continue. Initially, the first 1 or 2 years was more about, I didn't tell anybody. I was just doing it by myself, right? I was not sure. Initially, I wanted to prove Sunil wrong, maybe. Initially, probably that's the motivator. Then it was like, let me continue this, let me do something else, let me do more. And after that, it was this, there is nothing which I had to do, right? This books will just come up. Then I get exposed to something new which I have to try out, right? Something new happens, then I don't know about this, right? Then I don't want to believe that. And everywhere I was seeing Osho books, and I had to go join one of his things and start doing the things, right? I was watching, reading his books, and that Sadhguru started appearing everywhere. Then I had to just go do this, right? I had to experience it because I didn't want to believe it. Interested me enough to go and try this technique. What is this new technique? Let me try this. Let me see how it goes. So that was the motivator behind why I did this. And I think that is, we'll have different reasons, right? Everybody's journey will not be same. For me, I'm just telling from my experience, Nikhil. Somebody else might have come because they had a health issue, or they want to focus more for exam. There could be n number of different reasons, and none of these matters. The point is you come there. None of these reasons as to why you come to meditation doesn't matter. As long as you come in and then you stick with it. And for sticking, that is very important. There is no one reason why you would do it, right? Because it's unique. You have to go to your why. Why did you come? Are you doing it for yourself? You have to know your why. And Sampath actually mentions the 5 whys. Why? Keep asking the whys. It's very powerful. Very, very powerful. It actually takes out all the unnecessary noise. Then you really know why you're doing something. Anything for that matter, not just meditation. Not just meditation. Why are you in this current job? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you doing it? And that why you keep asking, as long as you are authentic, as long as you are honest to yourself, not to others, right? Again, that is where I'll come to other part of your question, not to others. But if you're honest to yourself, if you observe your body and if you understand who you are, and if you understand what makes you happy, what makes you joyful, to Sampath's point, right? Joy. What makes you joyful? What is giving you joy? And that is right. And once you know your why, you will know this too. And that is different for different people, right? For Balaji, it will be different. For you, it will be different. It may, or it could be the same, whatever reasons, right? It could be different. The other part of it, the fakeness part of it, is something which, to me, during this journey, I just observed it, right? I just and I wasn't trying to be fake or anything, right? When you're actually doing it, you're not trying to be fake. But that's something which you observe. It's a subtle layer, right? You see the responses, you see the body responses, etc., and you'll understand that there is some part of me which is actually looking for a validation. So, which is why you have to be nice, right? So there are layers to it. Again, if you go layer by layer, you'll see this. There's some part of me which is looking for validation, which is why I have to be in the nice books. The guy who needs validation, you'll only get validation if you're being nice to the other person. You need that, right? The moment you are in this mode, there's an important concept, which an important thing, at least to me, and it's a realization. Everybody gives you walking sticks, which you don't need. You're always meant to fly. You're always flying. You're not stuck to a wheelchair. You are a person who always flies. But the moment you seek validation, the moment you need something from someone, the moment you are looking for outside for something, you immediately grab one more walking stick. Then you're stuck with that. And it's a remote activated walking stick. The control of that walking stick is with the other person. And you always have, you can observe it everywhere.
We normally become unconsciously people pleasing in that way.
Yeah.
So, when you are saying that, I could relate, like, because I was that person in the past. So slowly I could relate to what you were saying in that. That is one of my question. Well said. And
Yeah.
one thing is, when you question yourself why, then we can understand that why we are doing any work, anything that we are taking up. And that is one more question. And I have one more doubt. So
Yeah.
when you started your journey, spiritual journey, you might have experienced that your past friends or past relations, getting a little bit away from you, away in the sense, no much interest in interactions with them, and you might have got new friends where who all seekers will be there, and you would have become much more closer to them. So how did you manage these things? This happens to every one of us. So the people will feel struggle. Am I really going away from my past friends? Am I leaving them, or am I still maintaining them? So how did you manage this?
Yeah, a very, very nice question, Nikhil. Because, yeah, absolutely, you're right. And this happens to all of us, right? The moment we come into this journey, once we are persisting in this journey after a period of time, a lot of things will change. Certain things will break. Some of the rigid structures we start seeing that some of the rigid structures are breaking up. The people who we thought they're friends, everybody is nice, it's all part of a journey, right? But we see that maybe we are going in a certain road. That road is great, but maybe it is time for a detour, and that is not a planned detour. It automatically happens. A detour happens and you get into a different highway. You get with a different highway, and you find that this is, again, none of this is planned, right? As you said, none of this is planned, but you find that you're actually traveling with a new set of people. And actually is even more exciting, right? While we had great fun in that journey and all that, but there's no point going to a past. Things change. things change. There is no time. There is nothing to be, we cannot be brooding over that, because automatically the life is also bringing us newer possibilities, newer friends, newer things, newer challenges. And you are there, right? In that, you find yourself in this road, in this highway, or in this car with completely different possibilities, right? So yeah, I mean, what I would say, your question was what you would tell to people to expect this, right? So what I would say is you won't miss anything. From my experience, what I've seen is there is nothing to miss. There is nothing to, they won't miss anything. There is no,
Miss
there's,
anything,
they
but
continue life. And yeah, go ahead.
whoever were there in our past, the past friends, they might feel that I am missing them, or they are we are leaving them away and continuing with a new journey, a new set of friends.
Yeah,
So that kind of vibe, when you again meet them, we don't actually leave them. We just maintain their friendship, but we don't get too much interested in their life, or too much interested in their conversations. But still, they are our friends. So I personally, I don't take it so much, but I still maintain them. I don't leave their conversations. I just maintain them. But our
yeah.
path is completely different.
Yeah,
So
yeah, good for you, right? Just give all the compassion, because you have started a new journey. They didn't remember this. They didn't take the detour, right? They're still on that highway. They're still going. You took the detour. So you have this hindsight and you have this knowingness and all that, right? So I mean, have compassion whenever possible. If those meetings happen, if they show up, then have all the compassion, spend time if possible and all that. But you have the knowingness that you took the detour. You took the detour. And again, just go with that flow is all I would say. And I wouldn't worry too much about what they think, right? Again, it's going back to this other loop where controllables and uncontrollable. Why would we want to do that? Again, going back to this walking stick example, which I was just mentioning, right? The moment you start doing that, the moment we start thinking about, oh, what will they think? Should I do that? Should I go back? Again, you're giving the control back to them, right? Does not need it. And actually, these things, once you are in this journey, once you go that path, these things wouldn't even come up. These things wouldn't even come up. And this more and more, those phone calls, whatever, right? If it is not meant to be, you would see that they won't show up. And this is one thing, right? The moment we are in dharma, we are in the flow, we are following the path of the universe. Universe also does, it's a give and take, right? Universe also does a few things. These things would not show up, is what I've seen in my experience. But thanks for the question,
And
Nikhil. Wonderful questions.
thank you for your
Sampath
answer.
wonderful. Sampath would like to add one point on this. Over to you, Sampath.
Yeah. The
Please do.
same questions which Nikhil brought out, just wanted to add these points. There are two sides of us. One is the social self, two is the actual self. The social self is always need based, whatever you do. And it is not truth. You need something. So in order to get what you want, you become something else to the source, whether it be a person or a situation, whatever it is. Otherwise, you won't get it. Suppose you want to be a good husband, you want to be treated as a good husband. You have to become a husband, pleasing husband there. You want to get the love and affection from the wife or father. Any relationship is like a social based thing, including friends. Even in your social circles, whatever you are looking for from people, that's your need. So which forces you to fake. But you need to know from within, as Shibu realized that it is faking. And he joyfully, when you are going closer to your spiritual self, the actual self, it keeps looking at you all the time. Why the hell are you faking? It is fake. Do you have to fake? Soul keeps showing your true qualities from within, and it will not allow you to succumb to the needs.
Yeah.
So there will be a challenging situation for every meditator. Whoever starts the meditation, they will have a circle first of people who are in the material life, who are need based, very transactional in nature, almost everybody faking. You are also one of them. No judgments there.
Yeah.
And once you come into spirituality, you are with being, not into doing something. When you just be without doing anything, truth naturally comes out. And it is not people who you are choosing. It is the frequency that you are tuning. Yesterday I went to bar, so I met drunkards. Today I went to temple, so I meet devotees. You changed your tuning. So this will happen because on the way of truth, you will only find truth seekers. Right? So you should congratulate yourself that you chose truth. That's one thing. I'm connecting to myself and to all. And remember,
Absolutely.
the
Beautiful
social
point.
self is always material based, physical world based, physical body identity based. Whereas the spiritual path will always talk about that you, which is not confined to this physical you. So, one more important thing I wanted to say is on the path of this is the most important challenge everybody will have, whoever is going deep into meditation. People who have done vipassanas, they know very well. Shibu, you also have done vipassana, so you connect with this. When we go to vipassana, we go like, okay, now I have started meditation. I have now I'm doing a long meditation. I am now something kind of ego pushes you into vipassana. Once you go there, धज्जियां उड़ जाएंगे तुम्हारे भागने को मन करता है. You feel like running away on day 2, day 6, whenever you go. Is this me? So you also switch from self-obsessed spirituality to a truth-based and self-awareness-based spirituality. You will not see why I start meditation. Just because I have started meditation, I don't have to become a master. I have to become a master because I have mastered the act of seeing the truth and accepting the truth and aligning myself to the truth. And ego and mind keeps popping up many times in many forms. It will keep telling you whatever does not please you, right? Suppose Vikalbai knows how I keep playing with the egos. So I deliberately insult a person in front of friends and I'll see how he reacts. I want him to take the responsibility of I want him to get into a state like, why did I create this reality? Instead of Sampath has done this. While you are walking on the path of spirituality, you should also transition from self-obsession to the self-awareness. And mind needs to be bloody conscious at this stage. I meditated for 1 hour today and tomorrow you feel that you are the most important person. No, you're going the wrong way. Again, you're trying to please your ego. So watching the truth consistently on the path of truth, there will always be a test. You will have to pass that test.
One test. Are you kidding me? There's always be test.
Ego in the form of meditation. Sorry. For example, there are so many people who come and say, today I did a great meditation. Today I could not meditate, very bad meditation. The whole purpose of meditation is to take you beyond good and bad, which belongs to mind. The mind comes back in such a beautifully deceptive in ways that it will try to judge meditation itself.
Yep, absolutely.
So we got to be very, very, and at every point, you should remember that you are the creator. There are no heroes, no villains in your life. You attract them based on your situations, based on your needs, based on your evolution. You create your reality. And this is one fundamental we have to always stick to without any exception. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I want.
A lot of points covered, Sampath. It was a full course on spirituality. Great points. Thank you.
And now Joy has posted one of his questions like, kindly suggest some books for getting more knowledge about spiritual science.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many books which you can read, and Autobiography of a Yogi, if you haven't read, I would 100% read it. So I'm just going with the flow, right? Sampath mentioned Power of Now. Again, amazing book. Bringers of the Dawn, I mentioned in this session. There is no one book or two book, right? There's a lot of books. And one thing which I've realized again is we don't have to actively go and seek any book. The great thing about this whole journey is that what I have found in my journey is that there is no need to seek anything. It will come at the right time. Because I remember at a certain time when I was going through something, someone suggested when shoe fits. That showed up. I did not ask for it. I did not get it. I was not looking for it. It showed up. It was the right book at that point in time. So similarly, autobiography of a yogi will come. In all these books will come when the time is right, because that is again, Sampath used a beautiful thing called frequency and tuner, right? Tuning and frequency and journey is all very important because everything, if you look at it finally, all that is there is frequency, energy and frequency, right? What frequency are you in? Because everything is there. It's all universal, one mind, right? So, I mean, don't want to get into the theoretical side of it, but it's all frequency. Depending on what you are, where you are tuned in, the thoughts will come to you. It's all our frequency, right? Based on our frequency, the thoughts will come. So as he mentioned, if you're getting this kind of different kind of thoughts which you don't like at that point in time, just check yourself what frequency you are in, right? That's it. It's all frequency based. And then in that frequency, in that mode, in that flow, the books will show up. And I'm sure our volunteers, we can send a lot of books, a lot of suggestions. And Patriji itself has recommended so many must-read books, amazing books which we should read and we should look at. And there will be a calling. I mean, the right books will come to you. The right books will show up. But great question. Whoever asked that.
That's great. And previously, Vikal sir has raised his hand. So,
Vikal sir, go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Shibu. And
Morning, Vikal.
see, both the grandmaster had read my mind, and I got the answer. So in between, I was raising and then lowering, then again raising, then. But you both read my mind and answer most of the thing. But still, me being me, I will ask one question. So Cebu, you very nicely mentioned that each and every moment we have a choice. The moment you take the decision, a choice, then again you have a choice immediately after that. So when we choose something, take a choice, sometime it is good. You feel like, okay, I have taken the right choice. Sometime it is, oh my God, why did I do that? I could have gone that path. And you start inviting the good and bad tag on that choice and get into the journey of the uh, craving or aversion, if we talk in the Vipassana language. But how do we manage those kind of situations when we have taken some choice, whether it is good or bad, or without giving the tag? Then how you get into that, either whatever choice you have taken, accepted that fully from your heart, or uh, keep thinking and blaming that why did I do that? How you manage that kind of situation after taking the choice? Then again you have the time to take choice. You can choose something else.
Yeah, Vikal, one thing on a lighter note I'm seeing is the Vipassana language is staying with you. The good and bad, aversion, craving. Yeah, but great question. Great question. As you said, that choice, right? There's no, first of all, there is no good or bad choices, right? Choice is a choice. Whatever you choose, irrespective of what you choose, it doesn't matter. Whatever that choice is, and that's only learnings, right? Whatever you chose, you've learned something. With the more and more we come in spirituality, we understand that every choice, because you chose this, Sampath used a word, you create your own reality. When you really really understand it, when you look at it in totality with everything, you understand that your choices, you have chosen it, right? First of all, you have to realize that you are choosing this. That's a big realization. To me, it wasn't easy. I didn't know that I was choosing things. To me, it took a time, it took a while. It took many years before I realized that I was choosing actively. So when you choose it, when you actively choose it, when you make, there is no mistakes. I don't consider anything as a mistake. No. And this is the moment you start thinking good and bad, mistakes and all that, you'll always be judging yourself. Why did I do this? Why did I do that? No, I mean, you did that. You went with the choice. Whatever it is, that's your choice. Why, it's not good or bad, it's just a choice. And then you learn something out of it. The something. The good or bad is only at the mental plane, right? You'll say this or that. And the moment the Steve Jobs talks about connecting the dots, how are you going to know what is good and bad? The good and bad, if it needs some time plane. It's need a timeline. The good and bad needs a timeline, right? But if you have to plot it over a period of time, and the good and bad keeps changing, any decision you make, for example, you decide to move from India to US for just the sake of it. How do you know it's a good or bad? If you plot it after 6 months, it might appear as good. After 2 years, it might be different. Again, after 4 years, it might be different. How do you know? How do you know? Why bother about it, right? Why bother? Decision is a decision. Decision is a decision. Go with the flow. Choose a decision. Choose whatever it is, right? Whatever feels natural. When the body is at ease, whatever is natural, you'll know the science, right? You will know. The body will never lie. The body will know. When we are choosing something, when the body feels natural, then there is no question. There is no question about yes or no, right or wrong, because in your body you will know it.
Yeah.
And that's something which is not theoretical. This cannot be theoretical, right? Because this, you have to walk the path, you have to feel it to know that. And only you will know that, only you will understand. The person who is walking it will really feel it. And to others, it might say, what is this guy doing? This guy, why is this? And you wouldn't even be bothered about it because you know it is right. The knowingness is very different, right? The knowingness is something which is your own. There is absolutely flow with it. Absolutely flow with it. And again, I wouldn't bother at all about the good or bad, right or wrong, because that's anyway BS.
Thank
The
thank
right things
you.
will anyway manifest. Go ahead, Sampath.
Shibu, Sampath, before you add, I want to have one interim question at the middle stage. See, after choice, there are two things comes. Either you accept it, or then you feel like okay, letting it go. So there is a very thin line between letting it go and the full acceptance. So how you deal with that, and how please add something on this so that for the benefit of
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, so when that something deep comes, and when anything which comes, right? Like any new feeling, any new thought comes to you, and once you have that knowingness in you, in your body, you will feel that it is right. You will feel it. Everything, you will actually absolutely, as I was mentioning, right? Your body will be at ease, irrespective of how crazy it might sound, or your mind starts saying, in your body, you will feel it. That easiness, you will not feel any tension or any negative things in your body. Your mind will say that your mother, but in your body you'll be absolutely at peace, and you will know there is that knowingness. And the knowingness, and that again, that is why I kept coming back to that knowingness. That knowingness is very personal, right? That knowingness is your own, very personal. And what I have also seen is, once you accept that, once you surrender to that body, right, once you surrender to the decision, at that point in time, that go with the ease, with the joy, whatever makes you joyful. And again, the joy is not external, right? All I'm saying is my nature is joy, but what is taking me away from joy? That would be the thing, right? That's who we are. What is actually taking us away from it? I wouldn't do that. That's all. So just be with that flow, be with who you are, be with the joy, and flow with it. That's all I would say.
Thank
Then
you.
it
Thank you
becomes
very
very,
much.
then it becomes very, very,
Thank you very
very
much,
simple.
Shibu. Sampath sir, please.
Yeah,
Just to add
just
on
wanted
again,
to add on
there
this.
would be.
Yeah,
Sorry, go
sorry,
ahead.
Shibu, please continue.
No, no, I was just going to add, but again, not every time you'll be aware, not every time you'll be taking decisions like this, right? You will not be always conscious, right? Again, that is why the other part of it came. Whether you chose something consciously or unconsciously, it is still you chose it. It is still the choice was always ours. We create our reality. Not everything was, you are not consciously choosing every moment, right? Not, you might or might not be at that stage, right? Where there are so many things which we are in autopilot mode, where you are not really, you're holding the steering, but you're not even realizing that you're holding the steering. You're on autopilot. You're just being driven by the patterns, by the circumstances. You're just following it. So in that way also we are choosing, but that choice of being in autopilot mode is also our choice. Hope that makes sense. That choice is also ours.
Yeah,
All
very,
understand that, then it becomes simple.
very nicely explained, Shibu. So basically, what I'm getting it, okay, if you are making a choice consciously and with full awareness, there will not be any question of the good or bad tag on that. If you are getting into any choice and choosing something unconsciously, then definitely whatever question I have asked, you will get into those situations.
Because
Thank
it is
you
coming from
very
mental
much.
plane. But again, go back to the truth, right? As Sampath mentioned, and we all discuss continuously the truth. Knowing who we are, knowing that, once we hold on to once we anchor on the truth, then all of these questions will just flow away.
Sure.
Because you still learn, because you would still evolve, because it's a continuous journey of evolution. Nothing is by accident. Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
Vigal, for the beautiful question.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Sir.
Yeah, whenever there is a dilemma like this, when you have two options, that means one side of it is what you think it is, other side is what you feel about it. Okay, thought versus feeling is the situation. You think something is right and you feel something is right. As Shibu mentioned, you have to go with the feeling, but you have to support it with mind. Go with the heart, support it with the mind. That's when it will be a right decision. So, because you cannot go against your own feeling, you won't feel good. You go with the feeling, but make sure your mind and awareness supports. That's when you will decide the right thing, and you will get the right results. And I like one beautiful scene in a movie where a junior comes to a senior officer, an army officer, and says, "There are situations where I cannot decide this way or that way. How do I decide what to do?" Then he says, "You flip a coin." Okay, you flip a coin. So usually we think that, okay, we have to go by heads and tails, right? But the senior says, when the coin is in the air, you will actually know what exactly you want, which means you always know what you want. It looks like that, as if you don't know what you want, but you always know from within, you already know what you want. Just that your mind is not supporting with its own awareness. So it's a beautiful scene. I keep watching it again and again.
I'll use that
Thank you.
example. Beautiful example.
Thank you.
Shibu, there are no more questions. Okay.
Someone asked about Vipassana. Maybe someone can, Shibu, you can say what is Vipassana. Yeah, close.
Sorry, Sampath, I missed that.
Yeah. There is a question in chat by Joy. What is Vipassana? I heard you all talking about it. Can anyone explain it?
Yeah, sure. So Vipassana is, first of all, it's a course. Just talking from a what is Vipassana point of view, because there are many layers to it, right? I'll just start with the most simplistic way. It's a 10-day course, simple course. I think the site is dhamma.org. I believe that is a site. Vikal recently went, so he can confirm that. I think it is dhamma.org. So where you actually, yeah, Vikal says thumbs up, so that's it. So where you actually go and register for a 10-day course. So it's a little interesting. Vipassana is a course like no other in a way, because you are not allowed to be with books. You're not allowed to be with friends. You cannot speak. You just show up and you meditate. You meditate. There will be a 1 hour discourse in the evening, but other than that, it's all about meditation with nothing else. When I went, I thought at least you will be allowed to. I knew I will not be able to read, but I thought writing, right? When you're sitting by yourself for a long period of time, something you have to pour it out from your head, right? It's a good exercise. But even writing is not allowed. Cannot touch a pen or a paper. So it's a course like no other. So whoever asked that question, consider going, because it is the biggest gift, one of the biggest gift you can give to yourself. Just show up. Don't listen to your mind. Just show up. Whatever it is, right? Whatever this is, it will be great. Just go for the journey, and there are a lot of things which will happen while we are at Vipassana. Because we even at any stage of the spiritual journey, right, whether you are meditated for 10 years or 2 years or you're starting meditation, it is something which everybody should do. 100% absolutely have to do, because that in that period of time where everything else has been taken out, right, every other distractions, because if you look at it, we are always distracted. There's something or the other which is always screaming for attention, right? It could be the watch, it could be the phone, it could be something else, it could be somebody asking for this, or it could be your own mind continuously reminding you of the 15 different things you have to do and all that, right? And here, because we are in home, because out of the 15 things, out of the 10 things you can still do, because you still have the capability to do it. Oh, I didn't pay that bill, let me go and pay it. When you are in Vipassana, even if your mind reminds, it will remind, you cannot do anything. What are you going to do? You don't have your laptop, you don't have your phone. So all you can say, shut up. So this will, over the coming days, you actually become sharper and sharper and sharper, something else change. You actually will see that when a random person walks by who have got nothing to do with you will see the thoughts running in your head. That person has never come to you and you have never seen that person. One random person goes and you'll start judging. The mind will be like, oh, this, the way he walks, the way the clothes he's wearing, and what is he carrying? Unnecessary thing which has absolutely no meaning in your life, right? Absolutely nothing. You don't even care about it. But still the mind will be ruminating on something. As I'm just using that as an example. It is continue. The important thing which will, the big realization would be, it's always happening. Then, because we all have limited amount of energy, right? And we spend it. I'm sure we would have talked about the beat concept and all that. Beat concept, or we would be covering the beat, the breath energy awareness and all that. So we all have a limited amount of energy, and we have to choose wisely where to spend that energy, right? And then we will see it in Vipassana, we'll see how we are spending it. With all this millions of thoughts and millions of useless things which goes on in our head. So once it has to be experiential. You have to see it. You cannot read yourself into it. You cannot tell your mind don't do it. You have to see it. You have to really, everything in life is experiential, right? Once you experience things, you can then work on it. You have to first know it. So that way, Vipassana will be an eye opener in so many levels. So 100% go for it. And again, thanks to Sampath who forced me to do this.
Wonderful, Shibu. And now Bindu
And
has
more
a
about
question.
that, Nikhil can add. He recently did Vipassana.
Yes. And now Bindu has a question and she has raised a hand. Bindu, over to you, please.
Thank you, Balaji. Hi, Shibu. Good to see you finally.
Hi,
I
Bindu.
have heard so many things about you from Sampasar from the past couple of years. So you can assume those are like good things.
None of this can be good. There is no way it can be good though. The good and bad.
So yeah, that I really had a very good meditation today. I know Sampath sir said it's all about your mind, but I consider a good meditation when I don't have any thoughts, and a bad meditation when I have like thousands of thoughts while meditating. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. It was wonderful. I have a quick question regarding joy and happiness. That the information you shared. Um, because no matter how much we try to be in present and be joyful, we are always carried away by emotions, right? It's not always like happiness, all the other emotions which are nothing but body actions controlled by your brain. But how you always try to come back to now? Is there any tip, trick which you follow, whenever you have to come back to now and be joyful forever?
Yeah, just being in the present moment, just observing, right? As you said, as you rightly pointed out, Bindu, yeah, many times you will go into this unconscious mode, right? And it happens to all of us, where you just go there and anger is right. There is a difference between anger rising in you and then being totally stuck with that angry mode, right? Being angry and what you say at that point in time when you are angry, there is one important thing, right? There is no consciousness in it, right? You are completely unconscious. You are in the anger. You're stuck in that emotion. The emotion has come. it has, at that point in time, the emotion has completely won over you, right? And you are actually in the control of that emotion. So all we can do is, though it's a practice, the more and more we become sensitive, again and again, slowly we'll start realizing, we'll start seeing as it is rising. Or even if we have gone into that, we'll see, we'll come out of it. Initially, there will be breaks, but slowly we'll start seeing, okay, this guy, anger has come up. You can see the anger. And initially you can slowly, once you see it, once the moment you become aware, right? That spark, the moment you become aware, if you allow that awareness, if you stay with that awareness for some more time, you can come out of it. Because then you will see them. The moment you are aware, there is a spark. But again, if you just let it go, but you have to stay with it. If you continue to be in the awareness mode, if you continue to be awareness mode, then you will see that you are not stuck in it. It's not like the frog in the well, right? If you are inside, if you are stuck in the emotion, if you are trapped in the emotion, you are like the frog in the well, you are inside it. You don't have the overview. The moment there is awareness and light, there's no difference, right? Awareness is light. The moment once you are aware, there is light. Slowly, you start seeing things. In a way, if you go with the same frog in the well example, actually you are coming out of it. You're seeing the overview. You're actually not seeing that there is a world outside the well. Some
So
of
you
the
have
things.
to like become an observer,
Yeah,
not
it's
being.
easier said than done. Easier said than done, as you pointed out. But that is where it is practice. It is not a one-day thing. It is not an insight or a motivation thing, right? It's not a one-day. The more and more we sensitize, the more and more we come into awareness, then we'll see that these are actually very naturally we can come out. We will get into this. We'll 100% will go into that, but we can come out of it. We can surely come out of it. We stay with the awareness. Sam, surely.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You asked for a tip or a trick, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And a tip or trick to be joyful forever, right?
Yes.
Joyful forever, you change forever into joyful for now.
There's no difference. Both are same.
Because every time you need to be joyful, you need to be in the now.
Yeah.
Forever is future. Cut that future.
Future.
Joyful for now. Take every moment, one moment at a time. Choose joy. You will be joyful forever. So don't bother about forever. Bother about now. Every now.
And,
Every now.
and then the one beautiful thing, about beautiful point in that now, right? In that one, if you are fully in that now, that moment is forever. Yeah, that moment that is everything, right? That moment has everything. It's not a time thing. The moment you are fully in the now, there is no time in it, right? There is no time. Because of which it's everything. It's also everything. It's ever.
I keep telling people, if you really understand now, you have fill in the blank, reverse the word now. You have
One.
Yeah. So that one thing is enough. Trust me, the Power of Now book, which you are reading, I know. Very soon, I want you to share your learnings from the Power of Now on this session, Bindu.
Sure.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Someday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bindu. Thank you. Great question.
That was wonderful. And I see no more questions in the chat. So thank you, Shibu, for the wonderful session. It was most enlightening journey you have shared, and great questions and answers in the satsang. I thank everyone for joining today. And also I thank all our supporting organizations for conducting these sessions: IFSS, Omega Pyramid, Joy, PSSM Ignite, Breath Universe, Beat, PIMA, and PMME. Thank you, Shibu, and thank you everyone for joining the session. Let us join tomorrow at the same time for the day 9 of Swayam. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Balaji. Thank you all.
रिश्ता पुराना तेरा मेरा रिश्ता पुराना
तुझको ही चाहा है
हर दुआ में मैंने तुझको ही मांगा है
तेरा जाना जैसे कोई बद्दुआ
तेरा जाना जैसे कोई बद्दुआ आंखें मेरी हर जगह ढूंढे तुझे बेवजह ये मैं हूँ या कोई और है मेरी तरह
तुम्हें देखते ही आंखें हो जाती हूँ सनम तेरी कसम ओ सनम तेरी कसम ओ सनम तेरी कसम
सनम तेरी कसम ओ सनम तेरी कसम ओ सनम तेरी कसम वक्त ने है किया हम पे कैसा